see this. Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
We're not under the Empire.
Fair warning, the cold opening of Obi-Wan is a bunch of Jedis being gunned down by stormtroopers.
They're clone troopers. 501st Legion. You don't even know the lore. How dare you?
And saved by a Jedi teacher sacrificing her life to save them. And it's super triggering. And I literally can't believe they released that right now.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Disney can't catch a break, can they?
Oh my goodness!
So I would easily have to say that the Disney Plus Kenobi series, Star Wars Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, was the only show that I was pretty interested in watching because it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, damn, man, I could care less about all this other Star Wars shit. That's why I didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett or the Mandalorian, because those characters that they're introducing, I'm not really that into them. And the few characters that they brought from the video games and from the shows, I mean, it's kind of like whatever, but it just wasn't really my thing. I'm more of into the Jedis, more of into the Sith, so I'd rather watch something that has to do with both of those. So when Kenobi came out, I was like, all right, you know what? I'll wait. I'll watch it when it's done, review the whole season. But, you know, I've been seeing a lot of people reviewing the first 2 episodes. So I was like, well, you know, I'll just watch the first 2 instead of waiting for them all to come out. And then just, I guess I'll review it. And damn, I will have to say, it's so funny how people can be so excited about things and pump things up, and like how bait and switches are just really becoming a thing nowadays. Like they just pump you up, like we're gonna see a bunch of circles, it's gonna be all those circles you can get, and then it's just a bunch of squares when you show up and you're like, wait, and there's like, oh, there's like one good circle in there. It's like, yeah, but you said that we're coming for circles. Why is there's only one in all these squares and triangles? But yeah, Kenobi is pretty much, I mean, it is practically a bait and switch. I'm not trying to shit on this show already. I know it's been 2 episodes, and I've seen bits and pieces of the other shows, but I'm just not into it. And I'm definitely not going to watch this fucking Andor show that they decided to release a teaser for. And I find it funny that this story of Kenobi pretty much mirrors the story in Jedi Fallen Order. And in between both that and the Andor show, they now released the the Jedi Survivor teaser, and it's only for the PlayStation 5. So it's just like, you know what? The fuck off, Star Wars. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You're just playing around with you don't even care. But so Kenobi starts off not with Kenobi, but the 2 first episodes, pretty much he's depressed. He doesn't, at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he was supposed to learn more of the Force, meet with his, you know, Master Qui-Gon, Force Ghost Master Qui-Gon, and be able to be a better Jedi, better man. But now, it's like the minute he left Yoda and the minute he dropped off Luke, and Leia, he was just like, you know what, I fucked up, actually. Anakin turned into Vader, even though he doesn't actually know that. But, you know, Palpatine should be the only one that knows that. You know, it's only going to be a matter of time before Luke is kidnapped or Leia is kidnapped. And I'm going to fail as a Jedi because I already failed with their father and their mother. So it was just already very depressing. You know, he's at work cutting off little slices of meat because he fucking loves his animal, which I couldn't help but make a comparison to another ant-eating kind of like animal from another Jedi film. Or another Jedi's companion. But yeah, he's just like he's a fucking nobody. He's just a vagabond. This Jedi that's literally trying to find him ends up finding him, and he's just like, nah, I'm not the man you're looking for. And it's just interesting, you know. It really is interesting to see Kenobi this way. The other main characters are like the Inquisitors. And that's played by Reva, and apparently she's been getting a lot of racism comments to her character. And I will say she is a strong black female Sith character. I've never heard and seen such a character that has such feelings and depth and will kill her own like superiors to get to someone that no one thought was alive, but only her, because she is so strong. And I'm going to say that I know the whole Order 66 intro, you know, even though we all know that's how it starts. I mean, we all remember Anakin fucking gunning down a bunch of kids, right? But he didn't gun them down, I guess. He had a lightsaber, but he did have stormtroopers with him. So I don't understand where people fall out from that. But yeah, I guess seeing it right now can be triggering. But come on, people. Come on. It shouldn't have even started with Order 66. This is about Kenobi. Maybe you could have showed Kenobi saving a bunch of kids being shot at and not dying like that Jedi died and actually got away, you know, and helped the kids escape or some shit. Like, that would have been cool. And maybe, I'm just going to say it right now, I think that Reva chick is actually one of those kids from the Jedi Temple. That only makes sense. But it would make sense if maybe she was saved by him and then was like, fucking, I hate you, Obi-Wan, because you saved us, but you also got a bunch of other kids killed. It could make sense. All I'm saying is that they're playing with fire here, trying to just show all this other shit that has nothing to do with Kenobi, where, you know, if they try to make the end of this show some big lightsaber duel with Vader and Obi-Wan, it's like, I mean, I guess. I guess. Or it's going to end like Fallen Order, where the Inquisitor turns good and then she gets killed by Vader. Like, she's going to have to fight Vader because obviously she can't kill him. We can't let Javicia, I mean, we can't, I'm thinking of Batwoman. We can't let Moses Ingram fucking kill. We can't let her kill Darth Vader because Darth Vader obviously is one, a legacy character. Two, he's got to show up in the very next film or whatever it is they want to do. But yeah, so then you find out that, of course, Obi-Wan doesn't have to take care of Luke because, you know, we don't need to deal with Luke anymore. It's all about Leia, which is so random. I mean, you'll have to just watch it to see this, but I don't understand how they're using Leia. Like, why would you put Leia as the center of, like, attention? I understand her being kidnapped and all was to bring out Obi-Wan, but that's the only reason she was kidnapped. It's like no one was looking for her. She was completely safe. Like, Luke might have been the only one possibly in danger for whatever reason. But when they come and Leia ends up, like, if plot twist, Leia gets kidnapped. But when Leia does get kidnapped and Obi-Wan has to leave to go find her, what if Luke got kidnapped? You know, what if someone ended up coming for Luke and then, you know, he couldn't save Luke because obviously he could barely save Leia. But if Luke was being kidnapped and attacked at this exact moment while all this shit's going down, it would be pretty funny because, you know, he couldn't do anything. But yeah, I mean, there's really just a lot of bad things and bad decisions and bad writing that happens in this show. I mean, you've seen all the memes already of Uncle Owen being like, "Oh no, you know, like you trained his father, you know." It's like you have to teach the boy to cook. Oh, like you cooked his father. Like, the memes are out there. It's great, but again, it's like Obi-Wan is just giving up. He's just so sad. Like, if there was like a sad side of the Force, Obi-Wan would be on the sad side of the Force, just like Luke from, you know, The Last Jedi. Because in a sense, you know, Obi-Wan right now is looking like the Last Jedi, and he could give less of a fuck, even though hypothetically Luke would be a Jedi still, and I guess technically Leia would still have the Force, so she could be a Jedi. So it's like, I don't understand how he's so depressed and why he doesn't think that everything's gone, everything's over. Like, he should know that Yoda's still alive. He should know that some of the Jedi are still alive. That's why I'm curious. This Ahsoka show, guaranteed this Ahsoka show will start with an Order 66 scene. If it doesn't, it'll start with her as like a child for whatever reason learning about Star Wars stuff because it's all about her. So they wouldn't dare do that about Obi-Wan, where it starts off with Obi-Wan learning about Obi-Wan, or maybe a reason as to why Obi-Wan gave up and ended up becoming depressed and getting a fucking job. I mean, I think one of the worst scenes was when Obi-Wan finds out that Leia was kidnapped by the Organas, and then he fucking goes back to work. He's just like, oh, well, going back to work. In that 12-hour time span, she could have died, right? Like, Vader could have got her. There's a lot of shit that could have happened. The Inquisitor obviously knows that it's Vader, that Anakin was Vader, so there's no reason to think that she couldn't find out that Leia was his daughter and brought Leia to Vader. I mean, there's a lot of plot holes that are just made up by certain lines and things that happen. It's just so dumb. And not to mention that Obi-Wan having to finally use the Force at the end of that episode when Leia jumps, which I didn't think she was going to jump. But when she jumped and he used the Force, I was like, wow. Like, he actually looked like he was trying to take a shit. Like, because he hasn't used it in so long. It's like lifting weights where he's like, man, it's hard to lift this 100-pound weight all of a sudden when I haven't lifted it for years, 10 years. When before I could have lifted this 100-pound weight with my pinky, you know. I mean, retroactively speaking. But yeah, and again, the fact that she killed the Inquisitor was ridiculous. And I know I'm jumping over the place because it's like I was trying to put a video together and I just didn't know how. I wasn't going to, like I said. I was like, I'll just wait for the show to be over. But then when I watched these 2 episodes, I was like, wow, this is shit. This is really bad acting. I mean, the way that was it Reva comes in, Obi-Wan, I can feel you. I mean, it's definitely gave me Warrior vibes. It was definitely funny. It's like, obviously, if you could feel and sense the guy, how could you not feel and sense that the guy's in the same damn room with you and like pinpoint his location exactly? What are you, a Sith? I mean, obviously not. Oh man, it made me sad. And then the whole Vader in the womb tomb, like that was random. Like opens his eyes up, like Obi-Wan. It seems like you've got your own show. Where's my show? It's like the fucking series was the whole saga is your show, Anakin. Oh man. But yeah, so we'll have to see how it goes. I think there's only fucking like 6 episodes, so we'll have to see how it turns out. I love how he's supposed to be in hiding and he like excuse me, he like flashes his lightsaber at the end of that first episode and like no one notices, like, hey, it's a fucking lightsaber, it's a Jedi. And like when the Inquisitors show up in the beginning, they're like, hey, we need a Jedi. You show us where a Jedi is or we'll kill you. I mean, that chick like cut off that chick's hands. That Reva cut off that woman's hands. You don't do that in Star Wars. You know, there's no true brutality besides like traditional slavery where you're like cutting people's limbs off. I mean, even when Ben cut off the guy's arms in the beginning of the trilogy when they're in the bar, he killed him, you know? He didn't just, he actually murdered the guy.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Because
She cuts off this lady's hands. Then she threatens Uncle Owen that she'll kill his whole family. But doesn't because, you know, Sung Kang from Fast and the Furious is like, hey, I know I always die in like, or I died and came back multiple times for one franchise, but I'm probably not going to die. I'm going to come back in this one. And then she goes to the Kumali guy who's faking to be a Jedi that lets Obi-Wan go and even though you think he's going to like take him to the Empire, he actually like changes sides and lets him be. He's like, oh, you're a good guy, I'm gonna help you out. The Reva goes to him and instead of killing him like she threatened to do and physically cut someone's hands off, she just takes the information from his mind and then lets him go on his merry way. This show is ridiculous. Oh man, I can't even. Oh. This has been Ghost in the Craig. Thank you so much for listening. I have to go now. Like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Other than that, peace. It's too much. May the force be with you.